Hey everyone, Phil Conway here, hopping on for day 12 in this 21-day challenge, spring cleaning for your mind. It's a great topic today that we're going to talk about. It's the idea of teamwork. Teamwork, the idea of we don't do anything alone. Really, the idea is, if you ever heard the expression that if you want to do something fast, you do have to do it yourself. Yet if you want to go far, you want to serve more people, serve others better, which in turn serve yourself for getting to the place that you want to be, that freedom that you want faster. It's got to be done in a team because when you look at it, life is a team sport. Everything is together. I know with me, I played sports that weren't individual. Golf is individual, but golf can be a team too. And things like hockey or baseball and football, those are teams where there's individuals who come together, and it's a coming together that they go further. This refers us back to the idea of the mastermind principle. The mastermind is where several people come together in a spirit of togetherness, where each one sees the destination, sees what outcome is desired, and from their own unique perspectives, bring their specialized knowledge, their skills, their talents, and the intellectual faculties together. This is how they accelerate the process of how far they go individually and as a group. So that's the thing, that the idea of collaboration and finding power partners. Where do you find the power partners that you can bring together, and who, perhaps you might be working in an organization, you might be the owner or the leader in an organization. And when you find people who are serving the same customers that you are, the same people, yet in different capacities, imagine for a moment how powerful it can be for those customers to know that there's people coming together in collaboration, joint ventures, strategic partnerships. It's a way to accelerate the place you want to get, and to do it at a higher level, much more powerful to do it that way. So as we're talking about the idea of collaboration, and even Harvard Business Review wrote, a few years back, how they discovered as well how collaboration will always outperform competitiveness. Say that 10 times fast. And the idea at CEO space, that's what we help to do, is accelerate business growth for business owners. So this way, whether they were finding the resources, the tools, the people in order to do it, and the idea of collaboration, how do we all become master connectors, connecting people to each other, someone who could be aligned with the same project that you're working on and moving it forward. So just a few words to say about teamwork is that teamwork is about this harmonious cooperation where it's willingness and voluntary and free. Whenever the spirit of teamwork is dominating the influence in business or industry, success is inevitable. Harmonious cooperation is a priceless asset that you can acquire in proportion to your giving. What is it that we're giving? The other side of that giving is that we become a good receiver. Giving and receiving is a law of cause and effect, and we eliminate the idea of trying to get. We're trying to just take. The idea of abundance as opposed to scarcity. So with harmonious cooperation, it's a priceless asset that you can acquire in proportion to the giving. Teamwork in the spirit of friendliness costs little in the way of time and effort. Generosity, fair treatment, courtesy, and a willingness to serve are qualities that pay high dividends whenever they're applied, the key word applied, in human relations. This would involve business owners who share more revenue and share more free time with all the people on their team. Employers who share more of themselves with the business, and they aren't only on the clock to get a check. They show up to serve the people on their team plus serve the customers together. See, the idea is that we take away that, stop the idea of competition in business and in life, and the idea where we learn to give more. And among the various choices, we can look at them as alternatives. We don't have to look at them as competition. Although I love competition in sports, and I love the idea of challenges and things like that. I'm doing a 21-day challenge here, and the challenge is for all of you to participate in your way, in a quiet way, finding ways to apply these principles that I'll be sharing. And when we do that, we find more peace of mind. And by having peace of mind with gratitude, we don't have to be concerned with whatever else is going on, whatever the circumstances, whatever the condition, whatever the crazy chaos is outside of your life that's really not directly affecting you, yet you get to respond instead of react. By responding and doing good work and really finding ways that you can go wider, go deeper, and more frequently serve people on your team. And who does your team serve? And by serving others, more people will feel empowered. And as they feel empowered, there's more freedom for them. And everybody finds peace of mind. The idea that really success is not an accident, but it's a result of established habits of thoughts and actions. And the idea too that we can be able to do this, and we have to have self-confidence in ourselves to show up doing the best that we can do. What I'd love to do is share with you this self-confidence formula that we have and we do on our self-discipline camps, as I mentioned before, on the self-discipline principle. And it's just amazing. We also have a self-confidence camp, if that's something that you ever wanted to find out if there's an alignment there, and how we all have zero limits. Self-confidence is something that's growing. And with true self-confidence, there's an increase in humility. With an increase in humility, it's service to humanity. It's not looking to get stuff and shut others out, because that's what happens often when people start to, they look at these principles and they look at success. And, I hear some people sometimes talking about the idea of greed, and greed is a lonely place to be living. What is greed? Greed is coming out of fear. Greed is a belief that there's scarcity, there's only so much. And the fear is that if I relinquish something, then I'm going to lose everything if somebody else has the opportunity. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Yet that's what people who have the biggest fear, the people who achieve the higher outcomes, their fear is much more powerful than the fear of those who wonder, will there be enough for the mortgage or for that next payment or that next vacation? Because there's a fear on both ends, yet the fear of losing, the fear of poverty is existing. And so what we want to do is eventually, using these principles with peace of mind, those 6 ghosts of fear, we want to dissolve them so that fears aren't holding us back, that we're operating and living from faith in ourselves and self-confidence in ourselves and the freedoms that we want. So this self-confidence formula, and if you want a copy, happy to share it with you. Just DM me and I'll send it to your email. So we start with it first. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. Second, I realize that dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. We'll get to see that. It's the outcome that we receive. I will concentrate my efforts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Third, I know through the principle of autosuggestion, that's when we have a conversation from ourselves to ourselves. You know, all those thoughts that you're having during the day, that's a form of autosuggestion that's happening. And real power is understanding that we can switch the way we think so that we bring those thoughts of what we are acknowledging, of what our goal is, what is our purpose. There's where all these things start to come in. When we do that, we start becoming the person who will achieve the goals. It's not about the goals happening as a matter of luck or circumstance. It's really about who we are, and who we are combined with the actions and the habits we take achieves at levels that are higher than where we were before. So we devote 10 minutes every day demanding of ourselves the development of self-confidence. And that's one of the things we do in the self-discipline camp in the mornings. Fourth, I have a clearly written down description of my definite chief aim in life, and I'll never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. And fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Having a keen sense of justice is what's involved with one of the 10 traits of leadership. Therefore, I'll engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. You might hear that as win, 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 win. Nobody loses. The new way of negotiation is to find out, putting on paper, all the things that somebody wants to achieve in the transaction, all of the things, and you write down all the things that you want to achieve, and you both cooperate together. See, where we stop being antagonistic, we stop being competitive. We say, we come from a spirit of service, and by serving each other, how do we both endeavor to help the other person achieve that? And that's where we start having a very different outlook on life. Yeah, it's very different than if you haven't looked into these principles before, or this attitude or this methodology, and it absolutely works. The question is, are we willing to make a shift so that we can feel more free and have a peace of mind? We can sleep at night knowing whether you're a customer, you serve the people, the salesperson who is calling on you. If you're in sales, you're serving that person at a better level, no matter where it is that they decide to enroll or engage. So I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use. That's like the resources, the tools, and people, and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. In other words, there's a reciprocity there. When we serve first, we receive. When people show up trying to get, we sense that. People have a sense of something I can't put in words, but it just felt like the person was showing up. Maybe they went to a networking event. They're just trying to get numbers. Perhaps somebody who's not good in sales is just trying to get a sale. All these different things come in, and we just start to operate from who we are, be sincere and authentic, operate from love without judgment, and things start to shift in a big way. So I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I sign my name to this formula, commit it to myself, and repeat it aloud once and twice a day with full faith that it gradually influences my thoughts and actions. Those are the habits, so that we become self-reliant and a successful person. One of the things in the Junior Chamber of Commerce, or JCs, we had 6 basic tenets, And one of them was service to humanity is the best work of life. And that was really a great group that I was involved with. And if you go to Andrew Carnegie's library in New York City, among about 22 different auto suggestions or affirmations that he had across his wall, one of the big ones is that service to mankind is the highest form of worship, which is essentially the same thing. Service to humanity is the best work of life. So there we are. That's day 12, teamwork. How do we all find ways to incorporate and bring in through diversity? With diversity, those unique perspectives that we all have, we find a unity. The unity is that we're in cohesiveness grouped together, and we're all achieving at higher standards with outcomes that leave us more free and more abundant, as opposed to being scarcity, having limitations, and trying to force things. Instead of force, allow things to happen, and they will. So this was day 12, the principle of teamwork, collaboration, power partners, finding more peace of mind, and spring cleaning of your mind. I'll see you again tomorrow, and have a great, blessed day.